Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of Academics, Dr. Stuart Dixon, and the graduands. Congratulations. If entering the hall and sitting well was your final exam, you've all passed. Graduands, ladies and gentlemen, please rise in order to welcome the academic procession. seated. I want to welcome all of you to Maastricht School of Management, and more importantly, welcome you to our graduation ceremony for 2019. It's my honor to once again be your master of ceremony today, and at this important event, which marks the transition of our guests of honor from students to alumni. You are still technically graduands. You will soon become graduates once you have the diploma in hand. Together with your family and our special guests, we're going to do our best to make this day very memorable. My name is Oliver Olson. I'm a faculty member here at MSM in the subjects of marketing and strategy. And I've had the pleasure to spend time with most of the students here in the audience. And I'm extremely proud to participate in honoring their efforts at this event today. Now, I do need to get some housekeeping out of the way. Even when you start a trip to your favorite vacation destination, there are some important safety announcements and reminders that you have to sit through. So we have to do a couple of those. First off, we invite you to not turn off your phones, just silence them. We're now in the world of social media and marketing and branding, and we want the world to know that this graduation is happening today. Please put your phones on silent and use them throughout the ceremony to tell the world what's happening here today. Use your favorite platform, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, WeChat, YouTube, MySpace, QZone, BBM, Messenger, QQ, TikTok, anyone? Reddit, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Line, Telegram, Messenger, for my parents, AOL. Have I missed anything? I just ask you to be considerate because the people behind you can see what you're doing on your phones. So keep it professional. And whatever you do, please always include hashtag MSM Graduation 19. We want the world to celebrate with you today in this special occasion. Also, if you have your phone, you don't need to use it for photographs. As you can see all around us, we have professional photographers taking literally thousands of photos today. We have videographers, we have cameras around, and all the photos will be available after the event. So you can actually sit back and enjoy what's happening and absorb it firsthand. Both the photos and video, as I said, will be made available to you after the event, so relax. Now, in case of emergency, in case there is one, we do have 3 emergency exits down here on the bottom floor, here on the right, 2 in the back. No oxygen masks, but we don't think you'll need them. Those in the balcony, we also have 2 exits, 1 on each side in the back, so please be aware of where your nearest exit is. At the end of today's ceremony, it's not the end of our celebrations. As we like to do, we will continue the celebration in a more personal manner. Today we'll be celebrating at Café Ipanema, which is near our wonderful museum here in Maastricht. You are all invited, both the graduates, the staff, faculty, and your guests. We'll be expecting you. We'll be providing free buses from MSM. They'll be available outside the main entrance of Hotel Randvik. If any of you don't know where that is, just ask any of the full-time students here. They'll tell you exactly where that is. The buses will be going and returning. They'll be going, start to return around 8:30, but we encourage you to stay even longer if possible. At the end of today's ceremony, we will reverse the process we just went through now. Please wait in your seats quietly until both the students and the academic procession has left, and then the event will be formally over and you can start to leave yourself. Now, it's my honor today to welcome not only the graduands and the faculty who we've already had the pleasure of seeing come in, but ambassadors and diplomats. We have guests of honor today, including our keynote speaker, Mr. Anthony Wahome Gitinji, and we also welcome today Professor Dr. Peter Mulgore, our Dean of Maastricht University School of Business and Economics. We also welcome leaders from our global education partners that have joined us today, our stakeholders, friends from both the public and private sector, the supervisory board, the management and faculty and staff of MSM, and the family and friends of our students, both here in person, as on the live web stream, and in the remote viewing areas here in the building. The first person that I'd like to invite to the stage today to speak to us is MSM CEO and Dean ad interim, Mr. Meinhard Ganz. Mr. Ganz is a longtime member of the management board of MSM, initially in capacity of the Director of International Project Operations and Consultancies. He's currently serving the capacity of Chief Executive of MSM. Mr. Gans is an economist and chartered accountant by background. However, he's mainly been involved in MSM's project operations. He has a track record of project work in around 50 countries, in numerous assignments, working in higher education sector, government, and the business community. And many of you here from around the world are here because of programs that Mr. Gans has helped start over the years. Throughout his 27-year tenure at MSM, he's been involved in the development of various MSM landmark programs, including the MBA, the Global MBA Series, the Executive Education Programs, and MSM's International Project Operations. Mr. Gans is also currently, as of the 1st of July of this year, also working in the capacity of Dean and ad interim. So please come to the stage, Mr. Gans, for your opening words.
Thanks, Oliver, for kicking it off. I think you make me feel old this way, but I have to live with it, I guess. So, good afternoon, all of you. Members of the diplomatic community, respected guests, respected colleagues from our global education partners, colleagues from Maastricht University, of course, and colleagues from MSM. First and foremost, of course, participants from our programs in Maastricht, from all our global outreach programs, and of course the family and friends that you brought. On behalf of the board of MSM and the management team, it's my privilege to be here to welcome you to this graduation ceremony and to share this very special moment with you. The closing of the MBA program and the awarding of the degrees, it's always a special moment in the year. For us, operationally, it means the successful delivery of another global cohort of students at the end of the ceremony. That will be the case. It's the administrative closing of the program, but of course it has much more significance. For you as participants and also for my colleagues of Team MSM, it really means so much more than that. For you, the participants, it marks the end of your special learning journey. For the students in Maastricht, probably 1 year. For the students from the outreach partners, probably more than 1 year, 2 years, maybe even more. And it's also the end of your learning journey, your personal development process at this particular point in time. For my colleagues at MSM, we call it Team MSM, it marks the end of an intensive relation with you, the participants. In this process, in this relationship, we've been providing, of course, our educational inputs, the teaching process. We're providing some counseling, some guidance, occasionally also some disciplining where needed, if needed, I should say, and also trying to provide some comfort and encouragement in the process. Altogether, from side of MSM, from Team MSM, we've been trying to share the learning journey with you and to partner with you in this process. And also this, for us, is coming to an end. For you, it has been a learning journey in all kinds of ways, developing your competencies, your skills, inside classroom, outside classroom, learning through our faculty, the regular learning and the regular teaching process, but also importantly, the mutual learning through your fellow participants. It also has been, certainly specifically for the students here in Maastricht, it has been a global learning journey. We have so many nationalities when you look only at the Maastricht programs, and when you look at the setting here in Maastricht alone, we have 30 nationalities represented. And this is, of course, a completely global context. This is the specific MSM multicultural dimension. It may have complicated your learning process in the beginning, having so many nationalities in your classroom, but I'm sure that it always also has been a unique learning process and a rewarding process, and basically it's part of being a global citizen, and that's what we all are. We are confident at MSM that you will close off this period with a broad set of competencies, skills, probably a different mindset, different ambitions in life, and basically we hope that what we have produced here, what we have developed here, what is coming out, is the 2.0 version of you, or maybe even the 4.0 version of you, the person that walked in here last year, insofar it was Maastricht, or a few years ago in the global outreach programs, a completely different person. That's what we expect it has delivered. We assume it is an adequate set of leadership tools, either for business or government within whatever setting you're working. We hope that we've been able to provide this sufficiently to you. but at the same time, separate from all the leadership skills, the organizational skills, the traditional skills, also we hope that we've been able to ingrain some other aspects in the learning process, developing an entrepreneurial mindset, a focus on innovation, in particular also a focus on sustainable development, because these are the themes in a global setting that you have to deal with. Your ability to cope with these dimensions in particular will determine whether you're an effective leader able to operate in a globalized world. Nowadays, the various development challenges that both the world at large, you working in your organization, and you working as a person individually are facing. All of us are facing these global development challenges. The concept of sustainability is captured in the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. It's not universally embraced at this point in time, as you probably all know. However, the realization of these development goals really pose challenges that you and us equally are facing in the process at this point in time. After my talk, our guest speaker today, Mr. Anthony Wahome from Kenya, it's a truly African entrepreneur, will give his address. Anthony is operating, and I'm not telling too much, but it's operating really at a crossroads of business development, innovation, and sustainable development. And I'm sure there are definitely some lessons to be learned for all of us, including for me. I hope that MSM has been able to unlock the leadership potential that you all have, and I hope we've been able to groom it in a way to help you in grooming your leadership talents. We trust that MSM once more is graduating at this point in time a cohort of students that will become part of a new generation of leaders in all the countries that you come from and all the cultural settings that you come from, the societies you come from. That you have in the process the skills that you need, but also the entrepreneurial mindset, and combine that with the moral values that are required for leaders at this particular point in time, working towards the realization of the various development challenges. At MSM, we are proud of you, and I express the hope that we can remain a partner in the process as we have been over the past year or the past years, and that we stay in touch in furthering your career and be part of your future learning journeys as well. You will become alumni of MSM, of course, and we hope that you become true ambassadors of MSM as an organization and what we stand for as a multicultural institute. We stay in touch with you. That's our intention. I hope also you will stay in touch with us. It's a reciprocal process. I want to thank all our educational partners, global partners anywhere in the world. I want to thank my colleagues at MSM at whatever location they have been working or still are working at this point in time for the very hard work and the efforts put in. You see the end result represented in the room at this point in time. For you, the students, I wish you every success in life, in whatever aspect, personal life, your family life, very important, of course, especially for the students from Maastricht. You're re-entering your family life, I guess, with all the challenges that come with it, but all the opportunities as well. And of course, every success career-wise. Enjoy the moment today. It's a special moment. Celebrate it with your family, with your friends. Celebrate it with your colleagues, of course, your classmates, and celebrate it with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Meinhard. So, as you've seen a brief preview of our next guest, which is our keynote speaker for today, which I'm very proud to have with us, as Meinhard has said, he's an embodiment of what we hope to see out of you as our alumni. And we had a chance, some of us at faculty, to see him along with colleague Julius speak to us yesterday, and we've learned a lot already about what knowledge he's going to bring to you and about him as a person. A little bit more about Mr. Anthony Wahome Githinji. He's the group CEO of AG Group International Limited in Kenya, which is a conglomerate of companies with interest in technology, education, agricultural, real estate, and energy. I think that covers it all. Mr. Githinji chairs various boards of leading business organizations, including media, education, and charitable trusts. Under the group's CSR portfolio, Kingdom Business Network, Anthony conducts various mentorship programs and a 6-month training for entrepreneurs with a focus on personal development. Mr. Githinje also received various professional awards. He was, for example, the country and regional winner of the CEO Global Awards in the ICT sector in 2017, and received the Leader Award in the ICT industry in the Top 100 Mid-Sized Companies survey. And I've also learned just from the brief time I've known him, not only is he very accomplished and very wise, he's also very humble, and I want to welcome him to the stage.
Thank you very much, and it's indeed a pleasure to be here. Salutations to the Supervisory Board, the Management Board of MSM, management team, the faculty, the graduating class of 2019, ladies and gentlemen, the diplomatic corps, good afternoon. It's indeed a pleasure to be here and to be part of this graduation ceremony. It indeed an exciting point for each one of you and the accomplishments of your 1 year or several years you've been here, as the case may be. I began to see the students walk in, and I asked myself a question. What is graduation? Graduation for me, as I watched you all come in, began to give an impression around a transition, moving from one stage to another, to graduate. And the truth is, you will graduate in many facets. There's a graduation in school, there's graduation in life. A few of you will agree with me, there's graduation from single to parents. Then you realize you've graduated from teenager to grandfather. And the most interesting is that you will not believe the years have gone by so fast. So graduation is actually a constant in life, and therefore we celebrate your graduation today as you move on in life. Just before I go to the next slide, this particular hat caught my attention. It looks like life is hanging on a balance. It could either fall backwards or forwards. Or for some of us who are adventurous thinkers, there might be something inside there. And I guess all you guys wearing this beautiful hats could be in that balance. What will life look like after this? What will the engagements of life be? And how am I going to cope with them? I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here this afternoon and for the visit to Maastricht. First time I've been here, beautiful place. And I realize that MSM, by inviting me here, would really be looking at having the transition from academia, what you've been learning, and a real life experience of what we're doing in business. I'm going to give my case, I'll use this. I'm going to give my case in Africa and how it applies, and then hopefully help you understand what that transition is going to look like in your day and make this transitioning meaningful and adventurous. Am I there? Just to get it correct. All right, thank you. So I'll take a few minutes and just take you through. My journey with MSM began early last year through a collaboration with Dietrich here and Julius, who's also a partner at MSM. And the conversation started around the triple helix model, which MSM is a proponent of. We had a great interaction yesterday afternoon as we began to look together in a forum about what this means and how it engages in our day, and how that can be translated into our day-to-day practice in the course of business, administration, governance, and in various areas. And during that conversation, when I first met them and began to look at how this model through government, business, and academia, where research comes in, could interact, it popped up and became a point of interest. And today, I'll hopefully quickly run you through the making of an African proverb as I Africanize the conversation as we go. So very, very quickly, I come from Africa, particularly Kenya, beautiful place, and there's an African promise, and I'll tell you why that African promise becomes a conversation with us today. A brief history about myself. Did finance and accounting a couple of years ago. It feels like a few years ago. And then I worked for the Auditor General's office, which is a government auditing function, for 3 years. I moved on from there, joined the Central Bank of Kenya, where I practiced not only the training in accounting, but aspects of banking. And then, most strangely, I resigned at age 27. And I put that purposely because that's where the conversation begins. How do you begin to transit in life? Some of you will retire at 100, hopefully not. Some of you will retire or will not even work formal engagements, they'll get into business. So I retired at age 27, having started working at the age of 18. So I had about 9 years span, 3 in the Auditor General's and 6 at the Central Bank of Kenya in the banking profession. And then I got into general trading, buying and selling commodities. I won't tell you the end of the story, but because I didn't know how to place orders or demands based on formal orders, I worked on promise, and the first transaction got me into debt of about $20,000. And the first 3 years, I worked to pay back money. But the beauty is that you learn things that you'll never do again, and that's what is the beauty about learning. And then we got into telecommunications. This was early in the 2000 region when mobile communication just began in our part of the country. And for the first time, there's a mobile phone, and we were engaged to begin to transit with Vodafone, who we work with till today, in that journey. And we then moved into technology and project management, where we build, install, and design organizational infrastructure. My areas of passion are around the youth mentorship, and that's why I'm privileged to be here. We have investments in education, where we own and run some of the leading schools in that region, get into manufacturing, and then lately looking at innovation, and I'm going to take a few minutes just to show you what we're doing in the aspect of agriculture, which is pronounced here in the Netherlands, and particularly how we're using the triple helix approach to begin to cause conversations and disruptions. I like the word disruption. How do you cause change? And this is my motivation and my motto. If I'm not doing something that is going to cause change and leave a legacy, then I'm not interested. How do you move on from just being normal and beginning to do things that will cause for change? I've had words around sustainability, have words around impact. What is impact? How do we leave lasting change in our days and in our approach? So very quickly, age group, Oliver has been able to go through what we do, but very quickly, we've been in the technology space. We have interest in education, and then real estate and agriculture through our recent setup company known as Endless Africa. And Africa for us is endless in opportunity. There's a core function of why we were seemingly left behind in development, but very interestingly, it becomes the only one place that, in my view, is going to feed the entire world in terms of land availability, resources. I'm looking at the China development in terms of Africa and the railways and everything. It's all geared because I think that's where the resources technically remain, and that's where the opportunity for you and I lie in this collaboration. Those are the areas of our engagement at the current stage. About Africa, 1 in 6 people of the world's population live in Africa. And then interesting over there is that age bracket, 19 years old, is the average age of a person in Africa. What does that mean for you? It means that you've got an adequate workforce, a market in that space that you can sell to, so they both have incomes to spend, and they provide the market to create for the demand that is required. By 2015, the population in Africa will have grown to 2.6 billion. I know you guys here in the Netherlands have basically no clue what 2.6 billion people look like. But in China, at least there's a better understanding, India, better understanding. But that's where we're going to sit in one continent, 2.6 billion people. This would be double the total number of people living in Africa today. And what does that mean? And then imagine economies with a basic average growth development GDP of 3.7. Ethiopia today is sitting at 8 to 9%. Kenya is sitting at 5.7. And you realize there's something happening in that point of the continent. And the potential productivity and innovation, which is part of what YOCOS has been, remains unmatched as global investors and companies turn to Africa as the next frontier. These things will come up in our conversations as we go. So very, very quickly, I will just quickly run you through what we are doing on the triple helix and how we are converting the learnings, and I guess a lot of you have interacted with this, into real-life application and how you measure that change and impact as you go. So triple helix, just in a nutshell, is really bringing together the three parties, which is government, research or academia, and industry and or business. In our conversation yesterday, it became clear that there could be a quadral approach, quadrohelix, or is it quadruple? Yes, a helix, and that's where we bring in public, who are the constituents and the beneficiary of this approach. And basically, in a nutshell, what happens here, in the traditional beginning, every one of this has been independent. The government has its own policies, the government has its own agenda, running its course and providing resources and infrastructure for the country. And then the research people, part of which MSN would be a representative, then do studies and business cases that should be adapted and begin to look at deeply how to do things differently, how to benchmark, and how to bring new creation in terms of how to do things in a new way. They have also been independent. And then industry, which is where I represent, and where you will represent, because a lot of you are inclined for business and or are already in business. We have basically run our things. We find the government in place. We see research independently. And we then get in to do the business and try and put the things together to make a return, and or platforms that people can be able to come in and find value around impact and or opportunities for employers like some of us. We currently employ an average of 1,000 people within the group, and at various stages of graduates, casuals, engineers in the fraternity. So industry will create jobs, industry will provide opportunities, and hopefully then work together, but traditionally has worked independently. So triple helix basically brings these three components together, and each person begins talking to one another. Now, I'll give you a quick story of what we've managed to do in our areas of business, and particularly in agriculture. From the conversations we had, I realized very, very quickly that the government cannot be ignored, and the government can be, when brought to the table, a key proponent of granting you speed and progress in the course of the business that you need to do. Now, our governments are not as structured as your government may be here. Our governments are still a long way in learning, and I guess some of you will attest to the same. But how do you bring them to the table to begin to appreciate the fact that their role is to provide policy and guidance? And how do you help them walk the journey to begin to commercialize some of these things? Because we have the same aim to make our countries attractive and to provide opportunities to the constituents and make our countries better contributors in economies and the world at large in terms of progress and development. So we began having a conversation around rice growing. Now, in our country, the consumption of rice per annum is 750,000 tons. We're a population of about 46 million. So if you divide that, it's a couple of kilos per person per year. Now, if we came to the Netherlands, as part of my interaction in the last 2 days, I think for you, wheat would be a better product here because you eat a lot of bread. But I know rice is also eaten. So we have a demand of 750,000. we produce a paltry 100,000 internally and import 650,000, which is a $600 million import burden on the country. And we began to ask ourselves, how can we leverage on that by doing things differently? So quickly began to engage government. The government has spent a lot of money in creating infrastructure for irrigation in certain schemes. The land is not being used, but it lies available for use. So we got into a conversation around leasing this infrastructure and making it available for business, and the government would then have a lesser burden on importation and provide food locally without having to do a lot of imports, because we are an import-based economy and highly import burdened. And then the place of research. How do we come in and work with academia like MSM and other organizations to not only borrow what they have been studying, but how do you begin to bring that into commercialization? So in the spaces like yield, for example, our current production before we got into this space used to be 24 bags per acre on the rice production. When we got to look at research findings on how to increase yield, because if you increase yield, you definitely then have your cost constant and you have more on sale, which means you have managed to reduce the cost of production, which should then translate to cheaper rice and affordability. So we began looking at yield propagation, and we've now moved this yield from 24 bags an acre to 40 bags an acre. What that means for us is that the price comes down by 30%. The farmer has 30% more in his pocket whilst he's still able to reduce the price. And that one thing that you could tweak, which is yield, is a function of people who have been studying and looking at research, but did not have a commercial industry business representative to take those findings and actualize them in real life. So that has been the proponent of how we are approaching the opportunities available in our country by bringing government together, industry, and then the proponents of research, and ultimately becoming a transformative agent. Some of the people we're working with include CREA from Italy, National Irrigation Board, and the Kirinyaga County, which is a county at the federal, not national government, but at the county level. And our slogan in Africa is that if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, and I think all of us want to go far, is that true? Then we need to go together. And that is why we then embrace this way of thinking and collaboration in how we operate. So very, very quickly, how do we compare with developed economies like Europe in terms of comparison and application of a triple helix? Industry and business lead the initiatives and conversation in Africa. In developed countries and places like here, the government, I guess, has more or less led that conversation together with academia and pushing that. Fragmented research, because mainly government has been sponsoring this. In the developed side, government and industry spend a lot of money and create budgets around research and the importance of research. And then government participation can be limited due to political influence and interference. The governance issues come there. In your developed areas, adoption to smart specialization and lobbying around economic European Union and related countries then makes this a more adaptable perspective. We have fragmented systems and infrastructure still building to have this come to speed. You people have uniformity in currency infrastructure and the systems. And those are the different things that we have to look at. So very, very quickly, I have given you a quick glimpse of how we've been able to optimize the rice value chain in the Kenya traditional rice growing, and then research into high-yielding seed, which I've referenced to. We work greatly with technology, where we've been able to develop and embrace platforms that will cause the farmers to come to one center. So we know the farmers, we know the coordinates of their farms, we know the soil conditions, we know the history, we know their spending patterns. We've been able to program psychometric tests around the platform so that we can tell a borrower's habits and whether he's going to keep to a payment plan. Over here, your systems are different. But we can do that all from data, and I know a lot of you have also interacted with technology in the course of your studies. So technology becomes an enabler in whatever sector you're looking at, and data becomes a key proponent for decisioning that you will require. And then the result has been a boost in the livelihoods, which is the fourth pillar that we are talking about in the triple helix side. Farmers have increased income. When they have increased income, they're able to pay more tax. They're able to create demand for education, health, and other systems or other requirements in the cost of living. And in that cycle, they become bankable and a trickle-down effect to the community. And we're trying to push sustainability in this thing. So I would say in a nutshell that I believe very critically the triple helix bringing together as a model is something that we should all propagate. And hopefully as a transitioning point for you from academics into real life engagement, you're going to be able to go back to your respective countries and or organizations or your businesses and begin to cause a disruption around the things that you have to change in your day-to-day to make life more meaningful. Now, we have looked at other, I'm not going to this, but we have similar conversations around health, bringing government to the policy. But we are uniquely placed because in our countries, all these sections are not working. So we bring a better methodology of doing things and causing disruption. So our healthcare systems, moving them from giving free drugs, making it commercially viable, and giving opportunity both to the doctors and others. And then we've looked at the housing industry, same model, having conversations around reducing cost of construction, getting the government to do infrastructure, which then de-risks the involvement, because infrastructure then overburdens the developers, and then creating demand. So again, through platforms, we're able to create and know who wants to buy a house, how much he wants to spend, where exactly you're going to spend, where would you like to live, how much are you paying in rent, could we match your rent payment to your mortgage payment, and then create solutions around that. So that has been basically our journey in terms of where we are and what we're looking at. Same application in education. Because of time, I'm not going to that. So how we map in the future together, we're looking at smart specialization, looking at if we're good in rice growing in a certain region, can we concentrate on that, the place of focus? And then looking at examples and best case studies, like in Europe, we're looking at a case in Italy where you have a district that just does tomatoes and specializes on tomato. Maybe you're good at milk production. Can we specialize in those areas of production? And then innovation. In our conversation yesterday, we realized that innovation is really not institutional restricted. It's not that MSM is the hub of innovation. Everybody has a chance to become innovative and become disruptive in the course of living and course for the solutions that are much required in the course of engagement. My parting shots to you students, to keep within the time limit, is that you have a great opportunity as you go out. As you graduate today, life is full of possibility, but key three things that are, for me, parting shots to you. One is a place of discipline and dedication. You have to be resolved within yourself that I'm going to make a mark in my society. Now, we've been able to translate a whole import-oriented industry to a sustainable, homegrown, and removing the burden from the government to spend the limited resources they have on Forex by being able to translate the import conversation into a homegrown conversation. Why would somebody want to do that apart from the fact that it's financially viable? We're driven by wanting to make impact, causing change, and having a legacy where you did contribute to your country and all your organization in the days of your stay there. My challenge to you as graduates today is that with dedication and discipline, meaning if you stick to do onto an initiative or a project, then there is a reward in sticking to it. I'll give you a quick example, and I said this to Dietrich and a few of you. I used to be 142 kilos in weight about 8 years ago. I'm now 75. Now, that conversation is becoming interesting. How did I start my journey to reduce weight? I saw a photograph of myself, and I realized that this was not the guy I ever knew. So I was fortunate that I did not get to a medical condition to trigger off a chain of effects. And what was my decision? I decided that this does not look like me, and this is not what I would like to look like. And that was the first thing that caught my attention. What were the changes that I then put into place? One, I began to look at what I eat, how I eat, when I eat, and how much of it I eat. And a few other things I began to do. I began running. I had never run. I bought a treadmill. I ran 5 minutes, and I was almost dying. And then with time, it moved to 20 minutes, and now at an average of 1 hour. And everywhere I go countrywide, here to the States, the first thing I look at, apart from my hotel room, is where can I run? And where can I make a difference? So it doesn't matter whether it's raining or sunshine, there's a discipline and a focus that is required. And what that does with time, it becomes a way of life. And when it becomes a way of life, it becomes easy to propagate it. And these are lessons you can apply in business. I averagely wake up at 4 o'clock every morning, and I run out at 4:40. Now, what do you do at 4 o'clock? And I'm not advocating that everyone has to be an early riser, but one person said that the early riser catches what? The worm, and somebody else said the early worm gets caught. So it depends which side you want to look like. So the place of discipline, the place of dedication, fix your eyes on this one thing you want to do. The place of wanting to make impact. I'm passionate about leaving a legacy where people will have opportunity, where people will be able to interact and cause for progress, and life can then become sustainable and a better place. Finally, the place for innovation. Innovation is not restricted to the organization. Everyone can become innovative. And one way of innovation is begin to ask questions. Why is it so? Why is this screen hanging here? Why can it hang virtually? Because if you begin to ask questions, you begin to get different ways to do it. But I'm excited to let you know life is open. There's opportunity for everybody, but only the ones that are dedicated, disciplined, innovative will have an opportunity to make a difference. God bless you, and congratulations.
Very interesting and inspiring words from Anthony, and I love the ending that you gave. Many of you may have heard from Hermina or myself or others during your journey starting the MBA that the MBA is not about giving you better answers, but teaching you to ask better questions. And hopefully you all can now look back and see that you've gained that skill. And it's nice to have that reinforcement from our speaker today that that is an important skill. Always ask why, ask better questions. We now would like to welcome to the stage, for the second year in a row, the appropriately named MSM Quartet. Now, they promised me that that's not on purpose. They're not trying to just get gigs with us. That stands for the Maastricht Society of Music Quartet. But we still feel an excellent connection to them because of their great name. The MSM Quartet consists of the following musicians and on the following musical instruments. We welcome all from Russia, the leader, Nikita Akulov, on the violin. And you can come in as I call your names. Andrei Rosik on the second violin. Ekaterina Degtiareva on the viola. And Alexandra Charnomskaya on the cello. We will be having the pleasure of them playing for us twice today. During the first musical intermezzo, they will be playing Kanon Pachelbel and Mozart Ein kleine Nachtmusik. And we will see them later when they will come back with some Vivaldi. So thank you. Thank you to the MSM Quartet for that inspiring piece, which fits in perfectly with a management school. You have Mozart creating the strategy. You have a small team with a leader and people working together, each with their own instrument, implementing the strategy perfectly. And it could go many different ways. But they did that wonderfully, and we'll be welcoming them back a little bit later in the ceremony to impress us again with their skills. So I would like to now invite to the stage two of the officers responsible for the Maastricht-based full-time programs who will assist today in the awarding of the degrees. Ms. Pilar Gonzalez, one of our officers in global education programs. Some of you from our partners in Peru, perhaps, or for our German partner will recognize Pilar. And Ms. Maud Jukens, Officer of Global Education Programs. She's responsible for our full-time Master of Management programs, as well as some of our programs in the global program, such as Vietnam. Please come to the stage, Maud. So now we come to the highlight of the afternoon, the handing over the degrees to our students, the part that many of you have come here for exclusively. I would now ask our students of the master's programs, Master of Management, Master of Business Administration, and a Master of Philosophy to please rise. Students, the Maastricht School of Management, upon recommendation of the faculty, admits each of you to the degree of master, conferring upon you all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. You can now move the tassel to the right side of your cap. You may now be seated. Now we can formally call you graduates. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, please rise. The Maastricht School of Management, upon recommendation of the faculty, admits each of you to the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, conferring upon you all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations. You may be seated. You may be seated. You may be seated. It's okay. If you want. Okay. Ms. Jukens, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Oliver. So here we are. The moment you've been studying so hard for is finally here. The past year has not always been easy or fun, but eventually you will leave MSM being a richer person. You attended lectures, took exams, did assignments, you worked in groups, you did case studies, you went on work visits, and if you still had some time left in the late evening or night, you might even have enjoyed the Maastricht student life. You have gained knowledge, obtained new experiences, and made friendships for life, and this is something no one can take away from you. We will begin with the awarding of the degrees, and we will start with the Master in Management students. And therefore, I would like to invite the Director of Academics, Dr. Stuart Dixon, and the Academic Coordinator of the Master in Management program, Dr. Aad van Maurik, onto the stage. We'll start with Ellen Truyen from Belgium, and she graduated with distinction. Felipe Azevedo from Brazil. Alka Kenchi from India. Manan Parekh from India. From India, Priya Ravi. In absentia, Mr. Sanjay Shankar from India. From India, Shreyas Sritar. From Indonesia, Mr. Adi Pratama. Bagus Falashar from Indonesia. From Indonesia, Miss Felicia Raharjo. Mr. Ignatius Kani Buntoro from Indonesia. Mr. Ami Bahadur Turabian from Iran. Then we have the class representative, Mohammed Amin Akavan from Iran. From Italy, Gabriele Suarez. Emmanuel Omene from Nigeria. Miss Jennifer Aziz from Nigeria. From Pakistan, Rida Fatima. In absentia, Sarinya Olsen from Thailand. Wila Sine Kung Somot from Thailand. And we conclude with a student in absentia, Hadil Al-Kirbash from Yemen. Congratulations to all students. It was a pleasure working with you, and I wish you good luck in your future careers and all the best for your personal lives. Thank you, Dr. Van Maurik. We will now proceed with the Master of Business Administration degrees. So may I invite Mr. Dave Cass, the Director of Global Education Programs, onto the stage for the awarding of the MBA degrees. My colleague, Karen Tromp, will continue with the MBA graduates.
Thank you, Maud. Today we have 3 different MBA residential programs here. We have the full-time MBA, we have the executive MBA, and we have the first batch of the online MBA students graduating. And no matter the format, I'm sure that it has been quite a journey for all of you. Leaving behind your country and squeeze 70 credits into 1 year is probably equally demanding as combining full job, parenthood, and a part-time 2-year MBA program. There were many tough days, I'm sure, but these were the days that you rose to the challenges, and those challenges will determine who you are today, tomorrow, and next year. Remember, no one needs magic to change the world. Each of you have what it takes within, and what is within makes the difference. Let us start with the full-time MBA students. You can come forward to the stage to receive your diploma. We start with, from Bangladesh, Ms. Sultana Haq. From Bhutan, Sonam Tsering. From Brazil, Giselle de Man. From Chile, Francisco Leighton. From Colombia, Thomas Gaidan. Class representative for better and worse, Anisha Singh from India. Also from India, Mr. Asim Sainuddin. From India as well, Namrata Kumar. From India again, Mr. Parth Chauhan. And from India, Mr. Reverend Ranjan. One more from India, Suraj Samal. Ms. Mary Pravita from Indonesia. We have from Lebanon, May Abdouni. From Mexico, Claudia Martinez. From Morocco, Jasmine El Haji. From the Netherlands, Tom Flory. Reche Edonije from Nigeria. From Peru, Juan Watanabe. Also from Peru, Luis Flores. Miguel Belon from Peru. From the Philippines, Mara Villaverde. In absentia, Mr. Devim Adi Güzel from Turkey. And then from Uganda, Mr. Alice Drazuru. From Vietnam, Phu Tra Nhat. And the last one from the full-time MBA, Teyazan Alhamdi from Yemen. We will now proceed with the executive MBA students. With distinction from Belgium, Ms. Katrien de Jager. From Egypt, Ibrahim Ramadan. In absentia, Gautam Biswas from India. And also from India, Prakash Vishnoi. In absentia, James Q from Ireland. Also in absentia, Bob Glaudemans. And our dear colleague, and as of today also MSM alumnus, from South Africa, Hermina Koima. With distinction, Herbert Lebens from the Netherlands. Lucia Pastoor, Seha from the Netherlands. Marco Vernooy from the Netherlands. In absentia, also from the Netherlands, Michel Leinders. Also in absentia, Thomas Djurch from Poland. And also in absentia, Alvar Bucher from Switzerland. And last but not least, our first graduates of the MSM Online MBA program. From Egypt, Karim Abdelghani. From Serbia, Nebojša Vrsej. And from Malta, or Germany, Sasha Rijf. Congratulations to all of you. We will now proceed with the awarding of the degrees of the Global MBA programs. May I invite to the stage Ms. Regina Moon, Senior Officer, Global Education Programs.
Dear graduates, dear guests, congratulations once again on successfully completing your program. Be proud of what you have achieved and remember those who supported you to reach this goal. I will now call out the names of the graduates from the Global Education Programs. We start with our MBA program at Ada University in Azerbaijan, and the first to be called to the stage is Yahoun Nariev. Kamran Abbasov. Mahmoud Yousifli. Shamil Houlozadeh. We continue with Nanjing University in China, Ding Jie. Li Kai. Li Jufei. Lu She. Lu Jun. She Chuping. Wang Haomin. Zhang Lihong. Zhou Aining. Next is our Egyptian partner, the Regional IT Institute in Cairo, Fadi Elias. Islam Abuldahab. Khaled Nekudi. Mohammed Abul Khali. Rami Rafik. We continue with a newcomer, the Mahan Business School in Iran, Marjan Azarani. Parisa Khatkodazadeh. Next is a group from the MBA program at MSM Kuwait. Shrifa Al-Fli. Abdullah Al-Sultan. Ali Al-Duhaish. Anfal Al-Nafisi. Mohammed Khendia. Mona Al-Utaibi. And with distinction, Shaima Al-Sharhan. Arish Ahmad. Then we have two students from Centrum Católica in Peru, Claudia Canamori. Evelyn Maldonado. We continue with MSM Romania from Bucharest, Alexandru Dumitrescu. Anton Gerka. Daniel Uba. And with distinction, Gabriel Stranitz. Irina Parashiv. Laura Lazarescu. Nicoletta Burada. Pinta Catalin Angel. Stefania Alexandru. And last but not least, we have a graduate from the Center of Business Administration at Sana University in Yemen, Azadine Al-Hamadi. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Dave. This concludes my list. This concludes my list with MBA graduates from the global programs. Now I would like to invite to the stage Dr. Pascal Hardy, Director DBA School and Online Education, and Research Officer Antonella Anastasi for the awarding of the MPhil and Doctor of Business Administration degrees. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. DBA and MPhil graduates, welcome. We are here today to celebrate your big accomplishment. You have shown your strength, your commitment, and deep motivation. I'm glad to have been a small part of your journey, to have witnessed your growth during the past years. I know it has been a long path for you and your families, who are also here today to share and celebrate with you this achievement. Let's also acknowledge your families for their support throughout this period of sacrifices and hard work, in which you have demonstrated that you can do very innovative and interesting research. I wish you to spend a wonderful graduation ceremony with your families and friends, and with all of us, of course. And I wish you all the very best for your future. Now, I'm happy to present the graduates who have accomplished the MPhil diplomas and the DBA's degrees in the last academic years. We start with the MPhil graduates. I would like to call to the stage Yehia Taher El Husseini. His dissertation is focused on corporate governance and financial performance in Egypt. Next up, Eman Amusawi. With a dissertation focused on social capital and entrepreneurial behavior intentions in Kuwait. Finally, we have Mohammad Al-Shaji. His MPhil dissertation focuses on supply chains logistics in Kuwait. We now start with the DBA graduates. First up is Hamed Gara, with a dissertation focused on international marketing, marketing innovation, and export organizations. Next up is Dalia Abdallah. Her dissertation focuses on inclusive businesses in Egypt. Then Sofia Beidu Beiden, with a dissertation focused on public procurement system in Ghana. The following graduate is Carla Psari, with a dissertation focused on leadership and employee engagement in Indonesia. Then we have Shihaleni Jaba, with a dissertation focused on the diamond industry in Namibia. Next up is Alex Nokondola, with a dissertation focused on human resource management in technical and vocational institutions in Tanzania. Then Amani Makota, with a dissertation focused on adoption of e-learning in Tanzania. Then I would like to invite to the stage Edward Mneda, his dissertation is focused on competency-based education in Tanzania. Then George Nangale, his dissertation is focused on agricultural entrepreneurship in cotton production in Tanzania. We continue with Godfrey Komba, with a dissertation focused on technical and vocational education and labor market demands in Tanzania. And last but not least, Paul Kintu, with a dissertation focused on juridical performance of the court system in Uganda. This concludes my list of graduates. Congratulations to all the graduates. Thank you, Dr. Pascal Hardy. I would now like to invite Oliver Olson back to the stage. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to all of you. That's exciting to see the variety of degrees and the variety of countries we have here. But there's still some more excitement to come. And for this next portion, I would like to invite Mr. Gantz and Dr. Dixon back to the stage as we proceed with recognizing the awards for MSM Students of the Year. Mr. Gantz? This is a special time of the year to especially reward those that have gone above and beyond the expectations for the MSM students. And each student who receives this award will not only receive a beautiful certificate to put on your wall, you'll also be receiving a cash award of 1,000 euros. Now I have your attention. In its 6th year, MSM's Master in Management program continues to attract a diverse and impressive group of students. This year's MM recipient earned the level of distinction on their diploma and presented an outstanding thesis on sustainability and circular architecture. An active member of their class, this student has been a mature leader and a natural team player at social events. In addition to the academic achievements, this student and their team won MSM's first sustainability debate night, which was not an easy night. In recognition of her engagement within the student body and for her exemplary academic achievement, the MM Student of the Year this year is Ellen Troyen. Yeah. The money's not there, it'll come later. This year not only honors the 35th graduating class of the full-time MBA in Maastricht, it also recognizes the second graduating class of the Executive MBA, which started in 2016, and the first graduates of the online MBA. Amongst these three groups of MBA students, MSM has more than 80 students from 30-plus nationalities. This MBA student that will receive the award this year has made their mark both academically as well as outside of the classroom. They've been an extremely active member of the student cohort, engaging in student activities, participating in the Student Hotel Changemakers Challenge, and initiating and organizing a very successful Women in Leadership event during Corporate Week. They finished their studies by completing a business consultancy project titled Maastricht Conservatorium, Development of a Sustainable Strategy for Zoud University, which I was proud to supervise. In recognition of her academic and social commitments, the MBA Student of the Year is awarded to Claudia Janine Martinez Juarez. For the final master's level award this year, we also recognize the Student of the Year from our Global Partners programs. In addition to the degree programs running here in Maastricht, a key element of MSM is its Global Partner programs. You've already seen some of them here today, graduation. These programs run in Peru, Suriname, USA, Germany, Hungary, Romania, Azerbaijan, Egypt, Kuwait, Iran, Yemen, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Vietnam, and China. And it's one of the things that we're very proud of, the reach we have in those important countries. The recipient this year, which I'll jump straight to the name because unfortunately he's not in the room today, is Khalif Omar Asin, who's an MBA graduate from our partner in Suriname, FHR School of Management. During his studies, he demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to personal growth by challenging his own beliefs as well as analyzing the drivers that motivate others and business. Of particular note was his thesis, bringing new insights into the Suriname environment for e-business. His thesis, a study on the factors affecting e-readiness of the Surinamese retail industry, earned a distinction grade. In recognition of his determination, willingness to learn, and application of his studies, he will be awarded the MSM Global Student of the Year. Now, unfortunately, as I've mentioned, Khalif cannot be in Maastricht today, but we will hear from him later today. So, thank you, Stuart, and I will now ask Dr. Pascal Hardy to come back to the stage for the awarding of the best DBA thesis.
So can you hear me? I'm delighted to present the 2019 DBA Best Thesis. And I would like to bring on stage for the outstanding research the author of the study on factor influencing export marketing effectiveness, implications for marketing innovation and brand outcomes in export organization. And the author is Ahmed Gara. Please come on stage.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy Meinhardt. And Dr. Gada, you get to stay here for a moment. Yes. No, that's it, yes. So please.
I would like to congratulate Ahmed Gara for the successful defense of his DBA thesis. And due to the high quality demonstrated in his DBA thesis, we would like to award him the best DBA thesis for 2019. I would like now to read the laudatio from your supervisory team. Ahmed Gara, DBA thesis, focus on brand innovation for base-to-base exporters, a topic that has been largely neglected in the international marketing literature. Ahmed has developed a comprehensive conceptual model on the factors that drive brand innovation in export markets and the performance consequences of such innovations. He also provided an empirical test for his proposed conceptual model using data collected by German exporters. Ahmed is very thorough and meticulous in reviewing the relevant literature and performing a systematic and critical assessment of previous studies, aiming to identify important gaps that require further research attention. He also employed appropriate methodological and analytical techniques in order to design and execute a robust empirical study and analyze data to provide valid and reliable tests for his research hypothesis. The quality of Ahmed's work is also evident by the fact that one paper based on his thesis has been accepted for presentation at 2019 American Marketing Association Summer Academic Conference, one of the leading academic conferences in the field of marketing. I have no doubt that his research will get published in highly regarded academic journals. We wish Ahmed all the best with his next steps. Congratulations again.
Good afternoon, everyone. This has been a wonderful day thus far, and I'm really excited. Well, I'm truly honored to stand before you today on this wonderful occasion. On this special day, if there is one thing I'd like to share with you, that would be resilience. Yes, it's harnessing the power of resilience in the face of challenges and setbacks. During this journey, I stumbled on difficulties, adversities, and challenges which for some reasons were thrown my way. And I'm thankful for the fact that, in fact, these challenges strengthen my inner belief in the power of resilience. And this is how I have arrived here today. Dear graduates, on this remarkable occasion, as we're gathered here to celebrate our success, I want to be reminded of what Winston Churchill said. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. His quote reminds me of my next challenge, or maybe failure. But there is something bigger than both, and that is resilience. It is resilience that makes you keep walking and staying the course, staying authentic and committed to your goals and dreams, no matter what comes your way. Resilience taught me that challenges come with plenty of opportunities if we look close enough. So embrace your challenges with a greater sense of purpose, determination, and persistence. My experience at MSM was quite colorful. I would not have had a chance to meet with some wonderful people if it had not been for some of these challenges that I faced. And I owe tremendous gratitude to these people who left quite an impact on my life. To my two incredible supervisors, I seized this tremendous opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting my vision. Thank you for inspiring me. And thank you for being the best mentors I ever had. To Dr. Pascal Hardy, thank you for your never-ending support. I really appreciate it. I was genuinely thrilled by your sense of devotion to students, and it's something I will live up to. You have truly enriched my experience at MSM. To my wife, I could not have achieved thus far without you. You are my life partner. You walked through every challenge with me without losing face, and I appreciate that. You really have a special place in my heart. Dear graduates, I encourage you to embrace your next challenge with fortitude and resilience. Never lose sight of your dreams, no matter what comes your way. Never underestimate the contribution you're capable of making. And for all the good stuff that has happened to you thus far, always remember to give back. I encourage you not to stop where you are today. Continue making an impact in any form of shape, and that includes being kind and helpful to others. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Gata. It's nice. Does that sound nice, Dr. Gata? Now we have a gift for our students. This is something that we have started doing the last couple of years. And for those of you that are in the global programs, those family members here, those friends that may be wondering what these Maastricht-based students have been doing for the past year, well, just look up at the screen and maybe you'll get a little bit of an insight.
This is our class of 2019. These students enrolled in our MBA program and our Master of Management with different backgrounds, expectations, and goals. Some came to Maastricht School of Management as fresh graduates. Others had years of working experience to expand their abilities and knowledge.
Initially, which was very interesting for me, was they started off the course with managing cultural diversity. Once after that, it kind of built the awareness amongst us.
This combination really told us to learn about different cultures and to understand different backgrounds.
So I think now I'm ready to just go wherever in the world and be able to make business and to meet people.
Contributing to the goals and ambitions of the students is MSM's main priority.
Every teacher used to first start the course with asking, what are your expectations? So he wrote them down, and then he made sure that after each day it was fulfilled.
All the professors, they try to get to know you personally. They try to understand what drives you, your personal motivations, and they really pay attention to you as personality.
So I think it's a big family and a very, very happy family.
Real-world knowledge is essential in adapting to an ever-changing international business environment.
I think both skill and knowledge that I've got from Maastricht School of Management is very useful, and I am able to apply it in the near future for my job and, of course, in using it in daily life as well.
And it has also helped me to identify my strengths and build on my personal brand.
I would say that the course gave me the opportunity and the courage to to avoid my stage fear.
And more importantly, managing the cultural diversity that is becoming more important every day.
With students coming from all over the world, Maastricht School of Management is the most international business school in the Netherlands, creating a truly international learning environment. The students enjoyed inspiring lectures, participated in assignments, and visited relevant companies.
Yes, the corporate week have been doing great so far. I learned about how to develop myself personally and professionally.
So it was really interesting, and also I get some tools on how to improve my chances, increase my chances to get a job in Netherlands.
From the personal perspective, I got to meet the CEOs and the MDs that came. We were quite fortunate because they were quite big companies like Accenture and KPMG. Through those connections, I got to know far more new people. So I'm pretty sure that will help me in going forward working over here.
This afternoon we're going to meet the alumni, and I'm looking forward to hear from them how they have been doing after graduation.
I think sometimes it's good that you don't know exactly how difficult it's going to be, but then I thought, well, just start, start reading. By starting, you know you can do it.
Yeah, I'm very happy because I met very good people, very nice people, and very competent professors. And I think this will help me a lot in any role.
Sustainable development is the core of MSM's DNA ever since its inception, and MSM subscribes to high ethical standards in business.
So here we gained a new dimension of sustainability that is not just something additional you do in your life. It's something you incorporate, because when you build something to be sustainable from the very beginning, then you can always build up on it and you can adapt it according to circumstances no matter how much they change.
And all this just helps to reinform you on what you think you already know, and also to shed more light into current happiness and sustainability, and that has been an amazing experience for me.
I understand that sustainability is just not a CSR activity, but it is a need. It is something that companies and individuals need to incorporate in their daily lives.
Maastricht School of Management thanks its class of 2019 for a truly inspiring year and wishes them all the best for the future.
So that was a surprise for both our students and our staff who have not seen that video before. So that's just a small snippet, but it doesn't include the going out in the evenings part, which is also an important part of your year. But we'll keep that a secret. Now, I would like to welcome back to the stage our MSM Quartet for a final presentation. And there will be a couple songs here that you recognize, Vivaldi Spring, and the final one, you'll be familiar with it, but I won't tell you just now how. Please come back to the stage, MSM Quartet. So now Ed Sheeran is up there in the Pantheon with Vivaldi and Mozart, and you heard it first here at MSM. Another management lesson for us today. You can take a new strategy and still apply old tools. It's just what you do with the tools that matter. So thanks once again to the MSM Quartet. We hope to see them again next year, and as long as they keep that name, the chances are quite high. So far today, you've been hearing from the staff of MSM. Now it's time to hear from the students themselves. Keep it clean. Our first student speech today is on behalf of the Master in Management class. The class representative that will be giving the speech today came to us via Poland and Hungary, originally from Iran. So please welcome Mr. Amin Akavan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. MSM Management, faculty, guests of honor, family, friends, and fellow graduates. On behalf of the graduating class of 2019, I'm honored to speak to you on this very important day. Thank you for celebrating this special day with us. I would like to also thank the administration and the staff of Maastricht School of Management for their hard work and dedication on our behalf. I think that business students often take their studying experience for granted, as just a step between higher education and the real world. As the first member of my family to graduate from a prestigious business school, I do not take one bit of it for granted. So, I thank everyone of you who has made this business school what it is, and every one of you who have supported my fellow students and me along the way. We have received an excellent education here, which makes it far more than a step between a master's degree and the real world, but rather a stepping stone to our futures. On a personal note, 1 year ago, each one of us, including myself, made a firm decision to pursue a graduate degree course in our beloved business school. Today, we are gathered here to celebrate our success. Now, we can raise our heads high for overcoming all the challenges life threw at us in the past few months. It's not been easy, but we have reached the end of this hurdle. It's also the beginning of a new one, and I want to encourage you never to relent. I want to encourage you to use the same spirit that you have shown, the sacrifices you have made, the sleepless nights you have endured, and this I promise you, my friends, it is our ticket to the next destination. Some of us came to this great business school with expectations, high or low, but graduating today tells me only one thing, that our expectations have been met and the ball has been thrown at us to transform our lives, our families, communities, and humanity in general. Hence, what is needed today more than ever is for each one of us to think about ourselves in the right way. Education, they say, is the key to success. I add that a transformative education is a candle that will light our path when darkness shows its ugly face. It is the key that will open the doors of despair. It is the key that strengthens hope, and this is the education MSM provided in this beautiful city of Maastricht. At MSM, I've met great people and individuals that have inspired me to a greater extent. For us, it was a walk in the classrooms, reading halls, libraries, and the social events we organized to bond and to start everlasting friendships. I'm proud to say that today we have grown. We are different from the person when we started our studying. We have transcended into new humanity that appreciates diversity. Life in the Netherlands has been like coming out of the bed and landing on the couch. Maastricht has truly been my second home because I have had some amazing people as friends in this city. The environment and the people of this country are so welcoming and helpful that you don't feel away from home. The good experiences that I got here, of course, does not imply that I didn't have to face my share of discomfort and challenge, but it's these challenges that made me a stronger and more confident person today. Every little encounter and experience gained here in the Netherlands has been enriching and will remain within my memories for lifelong. Be it taking part in projects and events such as International Food Day or 3 Days Carnival, or the internship project that I'm currently busy with. Talking from a graduating student's perspective, I believe the stories created beyond the boundaries of the university have been equally helpful to the graduates. Everyone here has had their own share of excitement and stories that will carry along their life. As a student of MSM, as an Iranian student of MSM, or maybe someone would like to hear, as a class representative of MM6, I've had a very different experience. The teaching style and the lectures were very different from what I had experienced in my home. And therefore, for the first quarter of the studying year, I was still a confused soul. This gradually changed, and I started adjusting to the system here because I had friends and professors who were eager to help and guide me. And for that, I'm really grateful. The best thing about the education system here in the Netherlands is that they let you choose your own learning pace. You are not judged by the scores in your transcripts, the various case studies, the caseworks, group works, the research projects, and the assignments. Each were helping me to develop skills, which of course, at that time, I wasn't ready to accept. Various network groups of MSM, such as business corporations and the academic institutes, were other sources that were helping us to practically implement our knowledge. The practical approach here in the education system is what makes the business school a world-class choice for an international student like me. Thank you for improving every day and helping us to align with the current market conditions through your modern educational approach. The big question for many of us now is what we are going to do next. For some of us, we might decide to take a walk in the park. Others will decide to get married and start a family like the few of our classmates and friends who have already implemented family policies while collecting data for their thesis. I say to you right here, whether you decide to take a walk in the park or go for the PhD or your dream job, always think about yourself in the right way. See yourself as the reflection of a person sitting next to you on the bus, or that starving kid somewhere, the homeless person that you pass by on your way to work, or the women that continue to endure suffering due to a male-dominated society, or the millions of migrants drowning in the Mediterranean, seeking a better life somewhere far from home. My friends, the success we are celebrating today was conditioned by the amount of risks we were willing to take, but also by the friendship and the cultural exchange we shared. Before we close this chapter in our lives and start the next one, it is rightly important to thank all the people that have been here for us along the way, to all our families for your love and guidance throughout the year, to our professors, you have greatly done your part, to the administrators, like your amazing mouth that took care of us with love, we say thank you well. Maybe a decade from now, we will not remember some of the theories we learned in the class, but we will remember the love we shared here. And at the end of the day, it is this love for us, our friends, our business school, and humanity that will make the difference in our lives. We must continue to nurture a love for our world today with all its challenges that makes it needful more than ever before. I do not promise you an easy journey, nor I'm assuming that it will be the same for everyone. But we will keep climbing as we are on an endless ladder to heights we have never achieved before. For that reason, I urge you to make sure that you are on the ladder on which you genuinely want to be. Remember that is your life. As said once by Carol Jung, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. So today, I remind you all to look into your own hearts and be awake before you embark upon a dream that is not your own. Up to this point, in many of our lives, most things have been decided for us, but from now on, it is up to us to choose. So be sure to make your choices when you are fully awake. Decisions that are informed by our heart and not by what others say or think or believe. Our contribution to the world will not be measured by the money we make or the accolades we receive, but rather by how we share our unique gifts with the world. And the only place to find those gifts is to look within yourself. So, go forth, class of 2019, and make your unique contribution. God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Amin. On behalf of all the faculty and staff, I can tell you that that theory versus love ratio is exactly why we're here. And so I'm glad that you've received that message from us. Our next speaker will be from the full-time MBA class representative, Ms. Anisha Singh from India.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Amin. I think you've covered a lot of points that I would probably not say. So I would begin with distinguished MSM board members, faculty, staff, guest of honor, family, friends, and my graduating class. I am very honored today to be celebrating this big achievement with you. I would like to begin with first thanking MSM, especially the staff and the faculty, for supporting us, for giving us education, love, and more importantly, giving us the opportunity to call them our family. So I would like to ask you all to clap for Dave, Karen, Maud, Hermina, Denise, Adriana, Paula, Marielle. Without y'all, each day would not have been possible. We have so much of stress, we are doing a lot of work, but you all have listened to all our tantrums and all our days have been easy. So the other thing that I want to say is that we had the opportunity to have mentors this year, and these mentors were from outside, also mentors who were our faculty members. So to these mentors, I would like to say, our success is your success, for you have given us the courage to dare, the knowledge to excel, and the belief that we can succeed. You have been there for us with encouragement and care. You have had the faith when we doubted ourselves. You have instilled in us self-confidence and needed to reach for our dreams. For these things, we, the class of 2019, thank every single one of you. So thank you, MSM, for all the support and love that you have given. For my graduating friends, history is not the past, it is the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. In other words, we are a product of our environment. We are all a product of our environment. Our existence is an amalgamation of every triumph, every hard-won battle, our school, of our parents, grandparents who have suppressed ideas and dreams that has now today resulted in pride. It has been a result of our ambition to do our personal best, to be passionate, to be persistent, and to perfect ourselves, to work as individuals and also in a team. To many hours of hard work, it has finally paid off. Ralph Emerson once said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a path where people will be proud to follow." And that's the trail that MSM has taught us to leave. However, graduation is not a goal in itself. Indeed, it is a part of a major journey that will now begin. And for this journey, I have a short poem for you. Today, our lives begin. Today, we become the citizen of the world. Today, we take another step in the journey of adulthood. We become accountable to someone other than ourselves and our parents, accountable for more than our grades. We have become accountable to the world, to the future, to all the possibilities that life has to offer. Starting today, our job is to show wide-eyed and willing. For what? I don't know. For anything, for everything. To take on love, to take on life, to take on the responsibility and possibilities. Today, my friends, our lives begin, and I, for one, can't wait. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Anisha. I think she'll forgive me if I tell a short story. At the beginning of the year, everybody will remember what Anisha said her goal was in life. What was it? To be famous, to be a celebrity. Well, Anisha, I can guarantee you a year later, there's not a single person in MSM that doesn't know who you are. And you just gave that speech to the entire world via our live stream. So we are happy to help you accomplish those goals. Our next speaker will be from our executive MBA class representative, Ms. Lucia Pastoor from the Netherlands. Please join us.
Okay, lots of things has been said, so I hope I can be much shorter. Dear Herbert, Hermina, Ibrahim, Katrien, Marco and Prakash, dear professors, teachers, family and friends, thank you for being here to celebrate this special milestone. Our official graduation for the Executive Master of Business Administration. Most of us started roughly 2.5 to 3 years ago, with probably a pretty vague idea about how many time and energy this MBA study would really cost. At least, speaking for myself, I know I'm a champion in convincing myself that it will be doable. Like my favorite quote from Pippi Langstocking, I have never tried that before, so I think I should be definitely able to do that. My bachelor graduation was only 30 years ago, so why not? Studying, reading papers, preparing for exams, writing personal assignments, and active participation in group assignments. Everything was doable with the famous quote in our minds, "A journey of 1,000 steps must begin with a single step." The help and enthusiasm of other students, the feedback from the professors, and of course the good marks after each course really helped and motivated us a lot to continue this challenging MBA journey. And then the masterpiece, our thesis. It started with a fairly simple plan in my head. Just go straight forward to the finish. However, reality was a bit different, as you can see here. I must admit that I felt pretty insecure, and actually I really did not even know where to start. 25,000 meaningful words. What a nightmare. Believe it or not, but by just forcing myself to start typing my name and the title on the front page helped me to get started. And there we are. Beautiful, smiling faces, feeling proud of what we have achieved. We did it! I want to thank all the teachers, professors, and our fellow students, but I want to thank one person in particular. I don't know where she is. A big thank you to Dolores McIntyre. She was like a mother to us. Always around when you needed her, and always with a friendly word and really interested in everyone's personal situation and MBA progression. Everything changed constantly during our study. Different subjects, different teachers, different classrooms, different fellow students, but Dolores stayed Dolores. A solid bacon we could trust. So please give her and all the professors, teachers, family and friends a big applause, because without your patience and help, we could not be here today.
Thank you, Lucia. It's been a pleasure seeing you and your fellow EMBA students go through this journey. Our final student speaker, his name is familiar to you, but we haven't seen him yet. Our Global Student of the Year awardee, Khalif Omar Asin from Suriname, will speak on behalf of our global students. Since Khalif is not able to be here today, he has pre-recorded some of his remarks.
The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is a true goal of education. This is a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King, stressing the importance of education for each individual. Good afternoon all, from sunny Suriname in the north of South America. My name is Khalif Omar Asin, and it's an honor to speak with you today on behalf of all global MBA students of the MSM Global Education Programs. In the past 2 years, I have had the opportunity to study at the FHR Institute for Higher Education, partner of the Maastricht School of Management. This strategic partnership has enabled me to enjoy highly qualified education in a culture of learning and caring. When starting my Master of Business Education journey, my goal was to form a solid basis of knowledge and necessary skills to be able to compete on a global management level. As my career path is being shaped, I now have a better understanding of the culture, structure, and discipline this partnership was based upon and which I highly appreciate. A special thank you goes to all the faculty who have left the security of their homes to travel around the world to educate global students like myself. Their expertise and experience have provided all of us with a wealth of knowledge, whether formally during class or informal when having lunch together during our breaks. Also, on behalf of my fellow students, I want to extend a special thanks to the FHR Institute for Higher Education for guiding us through this entire journey. I am thankful for the entire staff who has worked diligently and tirelessly to ensure that this institution offers the best quality education. Grateful for their support and guidance, it is my honor to share this award with the entire FHR family. I would like to take the opportunity to stress the importance of education around the world. In our globalizing world today, it is of utmost importance that world leaders make it a priority to invest in education in order to enhance concepts like entrepreneurship, sustainability, and corporate social responsibility. It is through higher education and knowledge sharing that we can truly make an impact in this world. A world governed by the overwhelming rise of big data and artificial intelligence, challenged with competition for excruciatingly scarce resources, while at the same time struggles with climate change and its dire consequences, especially in developing economies. It is becoming more and more obvious that we, young professionals in this world, cannot just think about success on our own. We are all bound together by these global issues affecting developed markets, as well as those emerging in developing countries. Every decision made by a business professional in one part of the world will in some way or the other affect all of us across the globe. I want to encourage each and every graduate today to utilize the knowledge we gained to continue to work towards a better world for us and future generations. I want to finish my speech by extending a warm invitation to all of you to visit my home country, Suriname, where you will experience the warmth of people from different cultures, and most importantly, our beautiful forest and good food. Hope to meet many of you soon. Thank you.
A wonderful final student speech and a great reminder that us as faculty really have a wonderful job. We get to travel and be with these students and see them, the ones here and the ones abroad. And one thing that we see over and over again is it doesn't matter which country it is on earth. MBA students, Master of Management students have this same quality, the same desire to make their world around them a better place. And we're so proud to be a part of that. Now we've reached the moment that many of you, especially our guests, will not admit that you've been waiting for, but the end of the ceremony. First, a few reminders before I give the final remarks. For our recent graduates, please remember to log in and join MSM Networker if you haven't done so already. You're just now starting the journey. Your studies here were just 1 year, but you're going to be an alumni for a lifetime. And that requires also your involvement. Don't expect us to alumni for you. We expect you to be active alumni, to take on that role, which makes the experience as well as valuable for the one sitting here, but for the 20,000 plus alumni before you that have graduated. The students, I want to remind you, the students and then the faculty procession will leave the room first, so guests, please stay seated while we pay our honor and respect to the students and faculty when they leave today. I want to remind you that everybody here is invited to the reception at Cafe Ipanema to celebrate together the achievements of those students here. And buses will be leaving in front of the Apart Hotel Randvik and will bring you to Cafe Ipanema, and the return buses will start coming back at 8:30 this evening. I want to thank everyone that's contributed to this special presentation. Graduation days here at Maastricht are really a special day. If you see the list of people that are participating to make this day happen smoothly, it doesn't matter what anybody's title is throughout the year, whether they're faculty, whether they're staff, whether they're dean, or whether they're officers or other people. Everybody has a specific role to play to make this day happen. And everybody has played that role, and I'm happy to be just one small part of this process. But I want to thank, again, all the staff and faculty, and let's give them a round of applause for everything they've done to make this happen. I want to thank our special guests that have come here today to honor you. Our speaker, Anthony, thank you for your wise words. And I've been given the honor of having the last words, which should be easy for me, but it's not. It's momentous. You guys have gone through a lot. But I had a lot of notes, but there's a couple things I just want to quickly note. First off, you've seen this wasn't easy. It's on purpose. This means something. This has value. If any of you have tried to lose weight or tried to get exercise, you know that things that are truly valuable are not easy. And you should all now feel it. You can be proud that you have something in your hand that didn't come easy, that you actually had to work hard for. And we work hard at MSM for the entire world to know when they see those three letters, MSM, they go, ooh, we know that you've really had to earn that. And so we're proud of you for that. I heard a story a couple weeks ago about neutron stars. Neutron stars, in case you don't know what they are for our astronomers here in the room, are one of the most dense, powerful known stars in the universe. But what's amazing about them, in the universe, we talk about speeds and distances that we can't even fathom. We talk about millions of light years and stars that are millions of times bigger than our own sun. But a neutron star on average is just 30 kilometers across. Not much bigger than the greater Maastricht area. But they have some of the biggest impact of any object in the known universe. They will change the course of other stars and planets millions of light years away. And it just reminds me that you don't have to be a part of something big to be powerful. In fact, sometimes compactness is what creates the power. MSM is not huge. There's other universities graduating thousands of students. MSM may not always be known as a name to everybody you talk to. You know what? There are stars in this galaxy that are affecting exactly the course of our planet today that we don't know the name of. It doesn't matter the name. It doesn't matter the size. What matters is the impact that you go on and make with what you've done. That degree in your hand is not going to make the difference. What's going to make the difference is what you brought to that degree, and even more so, what you do with it afterwards. Don't let it be just a piece of paper hanging on the wall, because that's all it is. It's just a piece of paper. You are the degree. You are the change. And as Anthony has said, make a change in your environment. Change your world. That's all we ask, nothing more. Go from here and change your world. So graduates, please stand up. And get your caps ready to throw. Class of 2019, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and MSM, you are dismissed. And again, we will wait for our students and faculty to exit the hall before our guests stand up, please. And students, if you would efficiently leave so that our guests can also leave.